Hey guys. Wow. Normally it doesn't rain around here, but lately it has been. California needs it, so that's a good thing. Wanted to make a quick video just discussing some of the weird shenanigans that our exes do, how it affects our children, and when we're trying to rationalize it and deal with it. And this is going to be a little bit of a story time video because this has to do with something my son's going through right now. And I think that, you know, discards happen in a bunch of different ways, and they're not really fun to watch whenever they're happening with our children. So this is kind of bizarre. Yesterday, or let me back up. So this weekend was my son's 20th birthday. He was with his mom for his 20th birthday, which was on Sunday. And yeah, so, you know, that was great. So I get them back on Wednesday, like I normally do. And you guys know that my son still does the transitions with his sisters, but, you know, whatever, that is what it is. Anyway, so the interesting part about this is she didn't get him a present for his birthday, and it was coming in, or she was ordering it or whatever, which I thought that's what was really going on, but it wasn't. So he goes into town, which is about an hour away for school, and his mom goes into town as well to go get his present. He at one point asked her, hey, since you're going into town, can I ride with you? No, you can't. Can you bring me back? No, I can't, I'm busy. And literally, they're like a mile and a half apart from each other in town. She's getting his present. Now, it's not like it's being explained in some way like, oh, I'd really like to, but I can't, you know, or I have another appointment, or you would have to wait, or whatever. It's basically just no. You know, I've decided the answer is no. I mean, it's just bizarre. So the kids all come home, get, you know, I pick the kids up from school. I pick my son up from the bus stop when he comes into town on the 2-hour bus trip back. And his mom's at home, so she kind of beat him home. I mean, it was one of those things where it made zero sense. And what ultimately happened is so we get home, I start making dinner, or we go to get some stuff to make dinner. So I'm making dinner, and literally his mom comes over, not into the house, right, but into the driveway. He scurries out, hangs out in the driveway for 20 minutes to get his present, which was a Nintendo Switch. Is that a thing? Case, you know? I mean, it was just bizarre. I mean, like, are you kidding me? You know, I mean, maybe there's more to the story. I don't know. And then today, he has, the day I'm filming this video, he has a therapy appointment. And they canceled school, so his class is canceled for today. So he actually asked his mom, he's like, hey, can I get a ride into town tomorrow for my appointment? And the answer actually was, no, I'm going into town tomorrow. And it was just like, it's amazing because, you know, this kind of dovetails with the video I made the other day, which I'll leave a link to in the card above, where, you know, it's all about them, right? They don't think about how this affects anybody else. And I was talking to him about it yesterday, and I'm like, dude, you know, you're basically being run out on a rail. I mean, she's not going to throw you out, but she's treating you as bad as she possibly can to get you to make the decision to leave. And I think he's starting to see that, but he's just not ready to do it yet. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, the kid's suffering with depression. He's having a hard time with all this. And his mom is just throwing him into the breeze. And I know I normally don't make videos where I really kind of deep dive into what's going on, because that's not really what this channel's about. But it is an example that either more than likely you're dealing with, or you might end up dealing with. And so the things I wanted to hit on this, or that I think is really important, is when you spend too much time trying to figure your narcissistic ex out, you're going to drive yourself insane, right? Because, you know, you sit there and you try to rationalize why in the world would someone make a decision like this? It makes zero sense. It's like, who wouldn't try to help their kids? It's just crazy. I mean, I'm in a situation where it's really frustrating because I can only take so much leave. You know, I mean, and I can't afford to take leave without pay because I have to pay her, his mom. I mean, it's just one of those bizarre situations. You know, I mean, I was very fortunate in the beginning stage of this when the kids were going to therapy all the time. My work was incredibly flexible and I had different bosses, but I'm in a different situation now. You know, I could get away with some things, but at the same time, I can't burn every dime of time I have, you know? So, I mean, it's just really tough. So when I was talking to him last night about it, because initially he was going to go to school today, to college, I'm like, dude, you know what? Don't worry about it. You were going to go into town anyways, so take the bus, go into town, get an Uber from the bus stop to your therapy appointment, take it back, you know, head back. Don't make it a big issue, you know? I mean, you ask for help, she can't do it, I can't. I'm not really in a position to do it. So, and to just clarify, on his first appointment, I did take time off of work to take him, but literally I can't, I mean, I don't have that much time, you know, hey, if I was a full-time YouTuber, then, and I had more time, that's what blows my mind, you know? It's like, if I had the amount of time that his mom has to do whatever the heck I wanted, it's just insane, you know? And he gets money for his disability, so he even actually, whenever he talked to her last night, he's like, look, you know, I'll pay you. Nope, it's not about the money. I'm busy. I have a life. I have things to do. My point is don't try to waste a bunch of time trying to figure your ex out. It's just, you know, that's why the absolute thinking is really important, because otherwise, if you don't just like, okay, they're NPD, they're, you know, strong narcissistic traits, they're whatever the category fits on your thing, and just accept it, because it drives you insane, right? Because if you don't, otherwise you would look at it and go, how in the hell can a person make that decision? How can they do that? And the answer is a normal person wouldn't. But if you put that, you know, you put the lenses on a disordered person, and you're like, okay, well, it makes sense because they only think about themselves. They have no empathy for how their actions interfere with anyone else. They, you know, they have their own emotional problems with it, and that's what it is. It's like they're incapable of doing anything different. So you're expecting a reaction, or you're expecting a behavior that they're just not able to do, and you're just driving yourself insane when you're trying to rationalize it. So if you're dealing with that, or your kids are dealing with that, I'm sorry for you, because that totally sucks. But do what you can to help your kids. Do what you can to help them understand what they're dealing with. And yeah, just try to minimize it as much as you can. You know, I wish I could take time. I can't. I mean, you know, I only get so much vacation. I get a lot of vacation time, but I end up burning it a lot for different things. And you know, an appointment every other week, I can't cover, because that would cover, I mean, that would put, anyways, whatever. I'm going into way too much technical detail on my my leave earning balance. So on that, just, you know, keep everything in perspective. If you find yourself struggling with it, where you're just talking to different people, trying to rationalize how in the hell can someone do that? Well, it's because they're messed up. And you would hope that they could be different. You would hope that they would do something different, but they're incapable of it. They're not going to do it, you know. And more than likely, if you're going through the same thing I'm going through, you can look back and there's a laundry list of things that have occurred that demonstrate their pattern of behavior. If you're early on in the process, and they're doing that, document the crap out of it and use it in court if you can. I'm too far down. Well, plus, he's an adult. He's not even covered under this anymore. But the patterns of behavior are the same. I mean, this is no different than what was happening 6 years ago. I just was a knucklehead and didn't realize what was going on, so I didn't know what I was dealing with, and I didn't know how to effectively fight it. So on that, if you like this channel and you think it's helpful, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so that YouTube will actually tell you about videos. I will check out the cards for the other videos I referenced in it, and at the end of this, There'll be a video that is my latest video and one that's recommended to you by YouTube, thinking on your search patterns that might be good. So check that out, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye.